A 5.1 magnitude earthquake has hit the south coast this afternoon. Emergency Info BC says it hit near Sechelt at 1:26 this afternoon. Our Alissa Thibault joins us live in Vancouver. Alissa, how broadly could the quake be felt?
From what we're hearing, Christy, it was felt pretty much everywhere, all across Metro Vancouver, on the Sunshine Coast, up Squamish through the sea to sky, parts of Vancouver Island. And it really depends on where people were as to what your experience was with this earthquake. Some people say that they felt their homes rattle. Other people who were driving didn't feel it at all. But what we can tell you is, living in the Pacific Northwest, we have been told for decades to expect the big one. And this was not it. That skyline behind me would look very different if it was. As you mentioned, a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. The epicenter was near Sechelt on the Sunshine Coast. We reached out to an expert at UBC for a few more details. Take a listen.
Yeah, so this appears to be fairly shallow. The estimates that I'm seeing are around the 10 kilometers depth. So this would be a crustal earthquake. Some of the smaller variety that we see around here. Sometimes people hope that this might release the pressure on a big one that we might feel. This one is quite far from that location and very small in comparison to the ones that we might expect.
Alissa, are we hearing any reports of damage anywhere?
So, Christy, no reports of damage at this stage. Our global news team is reaching out to every municipality to double check. We've got a definite no reports of damage in Sechelt, also in Squamish. And everywhere else so far that we've reached out to, we're not hearing of any reports of damage. But one of our cameramen, Global News cameraman Pat Bell, just happened to be at District Fire Hall, one within the district of North Vancouver. He was there for another story, and while he was there, the sirens rang out to trigger their emergency system. So every fire truck within the district of North Vancouver is out right now checking some vulnerable spots. They've gone around some schools. They went up through Grouse Mountain just to double check that there is no damage. BC Ferries have told us that the ferries that are coming into Horseshoe Bay and to Langdale are being held right now just so that they can double check there is no damage to the dock. In fact, we had another one of our global crew was on a ferry and they were told to brace just in case there happened to be a tsunami. What we know is that has not eventuated. And then we have also heard from people who live around Gibsons through the Sunshine Coast that they have still felt some small aftershocks from this first magnitude 5.1 earthquake, which happened just off the coast near Sechelt. So we are still feeling some tremors up through the Sunshine Coast, not so much here on the lower mainland this afternoon, but we will be bringing the latest news as we hear anything more of these developments throughout the evening. Christy?
Alissa Thibault reporting live in Vancouver. Thanks, Alissa.